Okay, chat. So we're going to talk about today is we're going to watch about the first 10, 12-ish minutes of Reckless Ben's video. It's an hour and a half long. I tracked down the thief who stole $200,000 of Lego. We're going to watch this so that you can have an understanding of the situation, because there's 3 hours of this video. This YouTuber's been arrested. There's been 3 different lawsuits, both before and after this video has come out. There's been responses by the company, and it's a whole mess. And no one competent has talked about the actual legal issues of, you know, was this material stolen? Is this the Lego thing? This is the Lego thing. All right, let's go here and let's use my stinger for once. I have a stinger, chat. I paid $50 for this. Stinger. Yeah, stinger. Colonel. The cops also intervened.
Colonel.
God damn, that was good. We are mathematically inclined. But now watching video after I have now gotten canceled for the 8th time this week. Your vampire special interest, yes.
This man spent his life collecting what's now known as the world's largest Lego Star Wars collection ever. It's estimated to be worth around $200,000. And then the entire thing got stolen. And the police are actively working with the thieves to cover the entire thing up. But the
allegedly. Again, chat, this is Reckless Ben's journalism here. I'm going to say journalism lightly. These are how he presents the allegations.
The craziest part is that the collector,
well, Reckless is in his name, so like
stolen.
That's, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the collector's son Bryan, well, he reached out to me because he has no clue how to break this news to his dad.
At this point,
his dad's in his 80s.
Had a help episode.
Yeah.
We can't.
And what is his dad the original owner, and he's selling it for him?
Yeah, his dad's the original collector. This is his son, who I believe is in his 50s. And he has like power of attorney. He's just trying to, you know, he was trying to sell off the collection, I would assume because of, you know, medical costs, end of life costs, that kind of thing.
Sure, sure.
The reason he's reaching out to me is because the police are covering this entire thing up. And at this moment, I promised Bryan that I would not end this video until I get his entire world record Star Wars collection back. But anyways, the thief of this collection is actually a corporation called Bricks and Minifigs.
Bricks and Minifigs,
which I actually saw one of these for the first time yesterday when I was driving around LA.
Collectors, Bricks and Minifigs is basically seen
is this
as
like a troll and toad sort of function where it's like a reseller of Legos?
Yeah, it's a reseller.
Like
absolutely.
It would be a reseller of cards?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm selling my Legos. So what I'm planning to do with them is take them to my local Bricks and Minifigs.
Because there's so
sponsored content,
much positive media about them everywhere, Bryan thought that this would be the perfect store to finally sell his dad's Lego Star Wars collection.
So I wrote up a contract.
In the contract, it says that these are still the family's Lego sets, but every time one gets sold, the store gets to keep a small percentage of each sale.
This was a store's worth of inventory. So that store that day was nothing but my dad's collection. Like,
so what this means is this is called a consignment agreement. And a consignment agreement, usually a business will take inventory from a wholesale or a dealer. Here would be, this guy would be the dealer who provides them with inventory, and the dealer retains title of the inventory until it's sold. But actual possession of the inventory is kept by the store. So whenever the store sells the merchandise, he's supposed to get, you know, like 80% of the money or whatever, and then the store gets the remaining percentage. Is there a reason for the blur circles?
Like consignment.
Yeah, the blur circles are within the original video. I would assume the creator, Reckless Ben, got numerous legal threats. He has at least one different lawsuit, multiple arrest warrants out at this point. He's been arrested over his video and everything he's done. I believe he went back in and used some of YouTube's tools to try to like hide some individuals' identities, and it's been a very rushed job. So a lot of it is faded for some reason.
They had to bring in
it's not there permanently.
Build the whole party room.
But it'll.
But the owner of the franchise, this woman, well, her husband had to actually leave the country.
Fake warrants? They're very much not fake warrants, and I have the warrants, chat. I can show you all the warrants.
Due to some work-related reasons.
I went hard on this.
My husband and I were planning on moving out of the country. I reached out to corporate to let them know, hey, this is something that's coming up in the next like 4 to 5 months.
She told the Bricks and Minifigs head corporation that she was planning on selling the store, so the corporation actually was able to find a buyer to buy it from her.
They let me know that they had somebody who was interested in purchasing a franchise in the area. He was going to be in
I just
town,
explained the
and he was
blurring
gonna
danger
stop
set. It's
by
not me.
and just take a look at it. Wasn't until Brandon got there that he informed me that they were terminating my franchise agreement. We were getting threats from Brandon and from corporate that if we didn't leave the store immediately, the police were going to be called. I told corporate I wasn't comfortable leaving that night without the inventory. I was also told I was not going to be able to stay there long enough to do that inventory.
But we don't just have to take this woman's word for it. She was actually able to save all the security camera footage from that night, proving that everything she just said is true.
All the footage and evidence is there. In the security cam footage, it's him at the store kicking her out. In that footage they sent us is Crystal asking him, how am I supposed to pay this guy? These are sets he has not been paid for.
And that right there is an incredibly important part of this that I'm going to talk about later. So basically, this Bricks and Minifigs, the owner decided to breach their contract. They were a franchise owner. This is a franchise location. So they decided, I want to leave the country. I want to get out of this business. So they basically said, I'd like to get out of this. Her side of the story is that Bricks and Minifigs then said, that's fine, because we have someone in the area who wanted to start a franchise anyway. We'll move them in there and you can leave. But then they came like in the middle of the night, said, you're going now. You can't keep any of the inventory. You have to leave. We'll call the police on you. You've breached your contract. Get out. And we're going to not let you do an inventory. So you can't even, do a final inventory of what's in the store. And she alleges that during this situation, she informed the corporate representatives that there was this $200,000 consignment agreement. And that they have this on the footage, which is very important for Bricks and Minifigs arguments later.
Quick question about that. So I don't know anything about like the legal here, but when you're a franchise owner, are they allowed to do that since you did pay for the franchise? Without like comp or anything like that?
So there's also a separate lawsuit about that going on right now. That's one of the lawsuits. Basically, the allegation would be that she has breached the agreement. And if you look at the franchise agreement, then that could potentially allow for them basically to immediately retake the location. That being said, One second, I think I actually have a copy of the franchise agreement.
Okay.
1 second.
I was gonna say, how do you get out of the game otherwise?
Yeah, 1 second, chat. Let me, because I went super fucking hard preparing for this story today. I have the actual court documents, which people have not been talking about. So this is, I believe, the franchise agreement dated 2023 that they have. This is an Oregon limited liability company. So basically, the franchise is an independently owned company, and she's allowed to be in charge of it. It is fucking 48 pages long. Let's just Control F for the word breach. There's acquisition of lease of accepted location, breach of the lease. Unless you own the accepted location, you must obtain any necessary sublease. So it's very likely that corporate had ownership of the location. Like they're the ones actually paying the lease under the franchise agreement, which means that they are, the legal owners. And if she, breaches it, they can get her, basically kick her out. Which is likely somewhere in here. Like, you can't transfer this to someone else. Any transfer without corporate approval will be invalid. Your material breach, if any of these things occur: criminal act, insolvency, breach of lease, repeated breaches, maybe, yeah. So basically, foreclosure. So basically, they maintain ownership of the location. She breached the agreement, and they came in for self-help and to kick her out, which is fucking crazy, by the way. That's not how this is supposed to work, because this has a dispute avoidance and resolution procedure. This has mediation and mandatory binding arbitration, which is important because they claim this later in their lawsuit against her. If she refused to leave, what they should have done is basically opened up a civil matter and gotten a court order, an injunction, basically to say you're in breach of this agreement and you have to leave this location. They should have gotten a judge-assigned order, but instead they just threatened her with police and she left. They'd say voluntarily. But that should be how they were doing it, but instead they, abuse the police and threats to get her out of there. They use the Pinkerton
why
style
so
of operating.
aggressive?
Yeah. That's the thing. They are aggressive at every level of this thing, to every single person. This Bricks and Minifigs Corporation, and this is something I can say. It's fucking evil, because that
they went hyper aggro.
Yeah, and it's not defamatory to say someone is effing evil, chat. Because that is a quality. That's not a statement of veracity. That's not a.
Oh yeah, I'm using a separate browser. All the cookies get deleted when I turn it off.
Oh,
It's never happened to me. I'm very careful.
That happens.
Yeah.
Reset the timer.
And if I don't have my tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
That's a business thing. And
Holy shit! It's literally just here on video right here. Just her saying, "I have this consignment agreement."
How am I supposed to pay this guy?
Yeah, how am I supposed to pay this guy? This is consignment. Oh my god, yeah.
He has not been
Right here on video camera, they have this.
And if I don't have my tickets, I won't know how much.
So this is the individual from corporate taking the location. This is her. Kono, please stop doxing myself. Chat can know my first name if they want. Now, who cares? Like, how many times do we need to tell you? I've only doxed myself 20 to 30 times. So this is the corporate representative being specifically told that there's a consignment agreement.
I need to pay him.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
He takes on all that consignment. That's fucking estoppel right there.
After this woman got kicked out of her own store, she called Bryan explaining how corporate just came down and is now trying to take the world's largest Lego Star Wars collection without paying for it. So, Bryan called the store to see what was going on.
Called the store, and I said, what happened to Crystal? And he goes, well, that's kind of a private matter, but the corporation's taken over the store. There's something I can do to help you with. I said, well, yeah. I am the owner of about half your store's inventory.
Yeah.
All those vintage Star Wars sets you have in there are ours. And he goes, well, I don't know anything about that. I said, well, you better get to learn about it, because I have a contract, I have photo evidence, video evidence, like that is our collection. So I went down to the store, brought a copy of the contract. We're like, you need to let me in back and let me see the sets that you still have. All you have to do is let me in back. We can go that route, or we can
Oregon,
go
meet us.
And the guy just looks at me, crosses his arms and goes, let me tell you what's gonna happen. If we go to court, we're gonna drag this thing out so long, and you're gonna end up spending so much more money than your collection is ever worth.
Hey, Kono, I have a question.
Yeah.
If somebody does that to you, if you give them your $200,000 Star Wars collection, and then you go in and they say, we're gonna drag it in court, here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Is it legally permissible to beat them half to death?
That's called self-help. Self-help is generally looked down on in the law, despite the fact that this corporation more or less invoked self-help and violated their own dispute resolution policy by fucking kicking this goddamn woman out of a store with threat of police. The proper thing to do would, be to shoot them a little bit. Just shoot them a little bit at this point. I honestly,
yeah, as a treat, right?
As a treat. No, your option
theoretically.
No, your option would be to file a lawsuit. And because this is an agreement with the store, and I imagine he put the contract together himself, you would probably put what's called an attorney's fees provision in the contract. An attorney fee provision basically says that if you're forced to sue under this contract, the side that wins doesn't just win, whatever the value of the contract was. They also get their attorney's fees and costs paid by the losing side. But
legally, how angry am I allowed to get in public if somebody said that to me?
This individual right here, they then called the police on him and the police trespassed him from the location. He will be arrested if he returns to the Bricks and Minifigs location.
I see. But how angry as this person who gave the collection, and then this guy crossed his arms in front of me and said, here's what's going to happen.
I would say go to 100.
How angry can I legally get?
I would say, if this was me in this situation as an attorney, I would raise my voice to 110 decibels. And I would tell him that I will fucking put him in so much goddamn debt that his fucking kids will be paying for it and their grandkids will be paying for it. And I'll take everything he fucking owns so he lives in a goddamn shoebox, which I'll make sure is burnt down for the insurance money.
Okay, good to know that's legal. Just wanted to check.
Yeah. You can't say you'll burn it down yourself, though.
Right, of course not. Yeah.
Gotten at it, then it ain't worth it, man. So if that's the route you want to go, and I go, that's really the route you want to go, rather than just letting me walk in there, and he goes, nope. What am I to do?
Yeah.
At that point,
Bricks and Minifigs knows that this family, especially with the father's health, doesn't have the resources to take them to court. And almost mockingly, they've since flooded all of their social media with
this is
tons
so
of
awful.
pictures of Star Wars Legos. At this point, it seems like they're just rubbing it in this family's face that they stole the world's largest Lego Star Wars collection in the world, and they got away with it.
everybody is absolutely
I think the funniest comment I've seen.
Why is he evil on purpose? Well,
I-
what sort of villain do you have to be like, I'm stealing your Legos. What are you gonna do about it?
Oh, I can show you
evil
this.
on purpose.
I can show you the like 1 minute interview this guy got with the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, where he is an evil little bastard. It was just fantastic. But I think the funniest comment I've seen about all of this is major corporation steals $200,000 worth of Lego from its own consumer. Is this a recession indicator?
baffled. How the hell can a corporation get away with doing that?
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And why are the cops not helping?
But luckily for Bryan, a YouTuber ended up catching wind of this story and created a team of YouTubers to do whatever they could to get Bryan his Legos back.
This is the full inventory of all the sets and minifigs.
We can figure out how to get this guy his money and his stuff back.
But right after they started, they instantly stopped working on this case. So I called one of them to find out why.
So they were threatening legal action against us. You know, Bricks and Minifigs, which is a pretty big company who probably has way more resources than we can.
So they were threatening YouTubers of legal action who were looking into this story. And hey, Bricks and Minifigs, if you're watching my stream right now, or my VOD, or a YouTube video that I make out of this, go ahead, sue me. Go for it.
You know, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it'd be cool if the YouTubers were like, all right, come kill me. Do your best.
For this specific YouTuber, he then got arrested by the police later on. Yes, actually repeatedly, and has warrants out for his arrest. But no, Bricks and Minifigs, absolutely. Go for it. Sue me. I'll move to transfer the venue to California. I will anti-slap you, and I'll take $100,000 of your money. Please go for it. I'll make content out of it too. It'll be great. Come sue me, says the IRL lawyer. Yes, it'll be like a fun hobby to do on the side, honestly.
Well, I guess you could do it yourself pro bono, huh? If they did it to you.
Pro se, but yes. You're
pro se, yeah.
Kono thirsting for the big. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, real lawyer gets sued by Lego Corporation. Yeah, I'd make 15 videos on that. It'd be great. Kono, wait, aren't cases like that public record? Would you be doxing yourself again? I don't care. I don't care.
They can just bully anyone that tries to expose them with frivolous lawsuits.
Chat, I'm gonna say it like this. Everybody IRL who knows me knows how much I like boobs, okay? They all know it already. They all know that I'm a little
freak. What does that have to do with anything?
Because that's the only thing that happens if I get doxxed. Chat, I'm so, like, confident.
You brought it up again.
Yeah, no, chat, I'm so, like, confident that I would be fine if I got doxxed. One day, you saw that maid outfit, right, that I was wearing? I wore that for my Halloween office competition last year on a day where I was settling a $1 million plus class action. And I literally wore it while settling that case, and we got north of 7 figures on that case while I was in the maid outfit. I'm ready,
Welcome
chat.
to the cafe.
Suits. And this left Bryan feeling pretty hopeless.
It eats me alive. I had terrible anxiety attacks over it, got put on medication. I just kind of was like, okay, I just have to let these freaking things go right now. Because it didn't seem like I have any path to go, you know?
Well, I guess now it's time for me to get involved. So immediately I went to my car, picked up some friends, and started driving 16 hours to this Bricks and Minifigs store. And I will do literally whatever it takes. Even if I have to take down the entire police force, I will stop at nothing until this family gets their entire Lego Star Wars collection back. And now 16 hours later, we're finally pulling up to the Bricks and Minifigs store. So I started a pair of spy camera.
So, because this is an hour and a half long, and there's actually 3 different update videos afterwards, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but he does a great job of summarizing the situation. I'm going to provide a small summary. He confronts the manager at the Bricks and Minifigs location, who is actually this Karen right here, who trespasses him after she accidentally reveals by flashing her cell phone for a moment that the owner of the new location's name is Josh. And then, for the rest of this video, Reckless Ben goes on a fucking crusade against Josh, trying to get back this man's stuff. He finds Josh's home address. He starts tricking people who work for Figs and who work for this company for Bricks and Minifigs to like be his spies, for example. And he at one point makes a huge poster of I like to steal Legos from old people, and put that like across the street from where Josh, this manager, lived. But hey, Gothy Buns, I've got everything up to date. We're not going through the videos entirely, but so he gets trespassed by the police, who are completely unhelpful and just like, this is their location. You have to go, sir. You can't come back here again, or we will arrest you.
If I can't go in the store.
Okay, we talked about that. Do you understand the trespass portion? If you come back, you will be arrested.
So he literally just goes in there and is like, hey, I'd like to get these $200,000 worth of Lego back. And they called the police. The police come, and he's like, hey, guys, they have 200 grand of our Legos. I don't care. You're being trespassed. You understand that you're being trespassed, sir? I will arrest you if you come back. And they tell him to go to corporate. The Bricks and Minifigs people tell him to go corporate. The corporate people tell him to go back to the store. And he's like, well, I've been trespassed. So then they get to talk to the CEO for like a whole 45 seconds. Guess how long it takes the CEO to threaten the police?
Minifigs corporate offices, and the Bricks and Minifigs CEO.
He even has an evil mustache, by the way.
Oh my god.
This is the final boss of Bricks and Minifigs.
Guy who runs the entire
That's about
company,
what I expected.
Ammon McNeff. He personally came out to talk to us.
So what's going on?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Is that a lie?
No.
Which also, the fact that this man knows about the situation tells me, because he knows it from frame 1. It's not, what are you talking about? This is strange. I've never heard of this situation. It's, no, we're not. That shows this thing called knowledge. He has knowledge that this has occurred. This isn't news to him. Even the CEO of the company knows that they have, potentially done something wrong here. Even if he won't admit that. Look at his eyes. Yeah, he's looking down left because, Ben's with someone this whole time. I assume he's looking at the other person.
That's
just
a lie.
Lying.
You did take the Legos.
No. So we have, our attorneys have visited, again, so who's
Bryan Mansell.
Okay, and who is that?
Who is Bryan Mansell? The guy.
What a good argument this CEO is putting on, by the way.
Yeah.
Bumbling and rambling.
Yeah. He looks so.
It did happen. Yeah, it does happen.
No, we did not.
Yeah, because his Legos were in the store and you guys took them. I know you think lying to us right now is kind of like helping you out.
I'm not lying to you.
Well, we both know you're lying, but
no, we don't know that.
So
Look at the
I showed him
COVID
some
thing.
social media posts his own company made that are still up. That
I'd love for him to explain what he think happened. The CEO.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When here was his own post from the Bricks and Minifigs location, talking about how they had these items on consignment. So now we have 2 pieces of information. Piece number 1 is that, welcome in, Mods, give a shout out to Avi Snow. She's a really cool leopard VTuber, and she's really sweet, and I adore her. So we have both on social media, on their own franchise's website, they have advertisements about the fact that they have this location on consignment, okay? They have, we have video of them being told that they are in possession of this collection when the previous store manager, previous franchise owner, was getting kicked out. We did have a Pokemon duel earlier, and Sclimbo won a game. Like,
yay!
He overcame adversity and himself in that fight. It was like an Ash Ketchum fight where he had to defeat himself, and then he got a badge at the end, and I had to do some one-arm pull-ups, push-ups. It was great. I can also do one-arm pull-ups, but that's not for right now. Okay.
sets, and these Lego sets that they're still holding on to are worth $200,000. But all of these claims are from his own company.
Yep.
We just caught the CEO of the entire company red-handed in a lie. Yeah, it's crazy to me that even the CEO is in on this cover-up. But anyways, now that we just caught the CEO in this lie, I wanted to let him know that it's gonna be much easier if he just gives us the Legos back now.
If you just want to give it back now, it's gonna be a lot easier for you guys, you know? I think you guys would prefer the easy way.
This is the easy way, chat. Just get back the
hard way,
Legos.
I don't think you guys are really gonna like it.
Are you threatening me?
But we're getting back either way, so it's like you can either...
You can leave. If you come back here, we will call the cops. If you don't leave right now, I will call the cops.
So you don't want to do the easy way?
So you're threatening me.
Yeah, we're threatening you, chat.
Right now is illegal.
It's an extortion? No. Saying that we're going to, you know, do a documentary on you unless you give back the Legos and stop doing an illegal act is not extortion. Extortion, you know, would be to force you to do something illegal or that you did not already have in your possession. That is not extortion, chat. He is not speaking specifically about extortion. He is threatening him with the police, a guy who's just asking for an old man's Legos back. Do you think this is a good, it's a good look for a CEO to threaten, you know, just 20, 30-year-old people with the cops if they won't leave? It's Sclimbo, that was a question for you, actually. Is that a good look?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, this dude presents like, you know, I don't know what facts are going to come out about the case, but to me, if I were to vibe check this guy, you're a supervillain, dude.
Yeah.
You're a supervillain, and I'm going to make fun of you. I would be, if it were me, very much more aggro making fun of this guy.
Yeah.
But also leave so the police didn't get called.
Yeah.
But I would be like having fun with it for sure. I'd be like, you know, where did it get you?
Where did it get you? Welcome in Raiders. Welcome in AI Ayumi VT, who is totally not, you know, someone very important to Alara, who was here earlier. My name's Konotomo. I'm a real lawyer, virtual streamer. We're going through the Bricks Minifigs scandal with the greatest VTuber of all time, VTuber male, the Sclimbo, self-improvement fitness
Hey,
VTuber.
everybody. Hey, what's going on? It's me, Sclimbo.
Sclimbo. Chat, you should follow Sclimbo.
But yeah, it's like, oh, thank you. And you follow Kono too. This guy, it's just like you said, so funny. Frame one, you know he knows.
Yes.
Right? So why are we even dancing around it? You know, just be like, all right, dude, I know. And I know they're doing their thing and they're trying to catch him saying it or something like that. But it would be fun to be like, listen, I know you know. I don't know what sort of, like, I want to hear from his perspective, right? I would ask him, okay, so what happened to those Legos then? Like, I want to hear your side of the story, right?
Yeah.
Because you know there's not going to be a good answer. He's going to be like, right, and not give a good answer.
You can talk to our attorneys, is what he would say.
Yeah.
Because he did at one point say you can talk to our attorneys about that. And chat, again, there's 3 hours of video here. You guys are more than welcome to get to the videos, which is a wonderful investigation on this. They at one point pretend to be different YouTubers, like a Mr. Beast kind of YouTuber, and are like, you guys want a contest, and like trick one of their employees to go out in the middle of woods with him so that they can make her the Lego queen.
God.
And then they start pumping her for information about the store owner. Doing like
crazy
cult rituals.
Brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick.
Why did they do that part?
Oh, because Reckless Ben usually infiltrates cults, so he has a lot of information about, you know, how to deal with cults. So
I see. I was like, wait, why do you make a ritual? What was that to do with the case?
His idea was to brainwash a Bricks and Minifigs employee harder than she herself was brainwashed, so that they could pump her for information.
Okay.
So the rest of the video, the separate videos are of these investigations. This all lasted like years. Like, this has been something years in the making. I'm gonna we're gonna look at a couple of articles about this at this point. You guys can watch the videos yourself. I'm gonna actually just put this in the chat right now. All right, there you go. There we go. Pin that there. Keep that there. All right. Brick by brick, brick by brick. So I have been just doing hardcore just knowledge of everything that has happened with this. I have There's been 3 different lawsuits about it. Kono's talking about pumping someone with Sclimbo on stream. Brave, true. So we have a few different articles. I'm going to go through the articles real quick because they have some more information. And we can start looking at Bricks and Minifigs' official response to all this, which came out just 3 days ago in response to everyone talking about it. And I found what I believe to be a major issue with their corporate response that gives the game away and potentially invalidates their legal arguments. So we'll get that towards the end. So this is just, we're going to go through the broad strokes again. Independent retailer Bricks and Minifigs is at the center of a legal dispute after allegedly failing to honor a consignment agreement for a $200,000 Lego collection. The dispute began 3 years ago. This has been going on for 3 years, back in 2023, when Bryan Mansell consigned his and his 83-year-old father's collection of Lego Star Wars sets in Salem, Oregon. This was worth more than $200,000, containing 780 sets. So we have it right there. We have Cloud City. And like, this is like the old Star Wars stuff from like the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
We talked about consignment agreement earlier. In this case, Mansell alleges that he entered into an agreement with former store owner Crystal Law Gorman, great name, under which the store would retain 35% of the gross profits, while Mansell would receive monthly payments at the 15th of each month. So basically, they would be able to retain 35% of whatever was sold, and they would get 65% back. So under the $200,000 agreement, or the $200,000 valuation, they could expect to get about $130,000. Before, if everything's sold for its like valuation.
Right.
The agreement allegedly also included an automatic termination date of January 31st, 2025, requiring any unsold inventory to be returned before that deadline.
Interesting. Okay.
So Mansell and Law Gorman alleged problems began after Law Gorman, who was the franchise owner, the one who Reckless Ben did actually talk to, and has since launched a lawsuit against Bricks and Minifigs, left the business and no longer had access to records relating to the consignment inventory. If you'll recall, she got basically threatened with police to leave her own store by Bricks and Minifigs, which is insane, and did not abide by her own franchise agreement. Because again, dispute resolution should be by arbitration, not calling the police. When new ownership took over the Salem Kaiser store in November 2024, the dispute escalated further. In a TikTok video posted on May 26, 2026, Law Gorman alleged that the franchise had illegally seized her business and removed her from the premises under threat of police action with compensation. This is the franchise owner we watched earlier. Let's give her another look real quick. We're just getting everyone caught up, making sure we're all on the same page, which we enjoy. Let's not watch this related video of rice coming out of his mouth. That's not something we want to see today.
So my face has gone a little bit viral in the last couple of days thanks to a YouTube video by Reckless Ben. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It fills in a lot of blanks that I'm not going to be able to get to in this short video. There's also a couple of TikTok videos from creators on here. I will tag them below so you can check out those videos as well. First, I want to say I appreciate the support from everybody. Across the board, it's been almost completely fantastic, and I appreciate that so much. So over a year ago, my
She's kind of cute.
franchise
Oh my God,
store
okay.
was illegally seized by corporate. This was a store that I had poured my entire life savings into, that I had built and created something that I absolutely loved, a customer base that I could welcome into a warm and fun and inclusive environment. This was my life. This was everything to me. I was not compensated for anything in the store. I was removed under threat of police action,
which we
from
watched
the store at night with no notice whatsoever. And included in all that inventory was a very large Star Wars collection that we had under consignment. My husband and I...
So this is the previous store owner admitting that the deal was under consignment, which again, which we saw in the security tape, she told them it was.
I've been fighting for over a year with corporate to get them to come to the table to settle with us so that we could be compensated for what we lost and Bryan could be compensated for what he lost. They have thus far shown no indication to act in good faith whatsoever. They are employing every stalling tactic they can think of. We have filed a lawsuit against them. I'm going to try to link a Google Drive of that lawsuit so you can read it if you are interested. Lawyers are expensive.
Yes, we are. So, Bricks and Minifigs disputes these claims, alleges that Law Gorman's owed approximately $200,000 in unpaid obligations under their franchise agreement. That's crazy that that's almost the amount of money that the Lego Star Wars collection was worth that they, took when they took the inventory. Law Gorman has since launched a GoFundMe campaign to support legal action against the company, including claims relating to breach of contract and defamation. So we have a fundraiser by Ben Schneider also for the affected individuals by all this. Which has now raised $153,000 of the total $250K. Helped Bryan recover his stolen Lego collection. Right there. This was only at like $25K 2 days ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the story did blow up.
Yeah, 100%.
I've heard about it. I just didn't know what the details were.
Yeah. Like $7,000 top donation from, I assume Jadar is a social media figure that I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy too is like I think when people try to pull stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
Like when agencies or corporations try to pull stuff like this, they have to remember that like, yeah, while they can drain someone's money with legal fees and time, like the power of one person being like, I'm going to spend my life fucking with you now.
Yeah.
Right? Like the spite, they need to like really weigh that in their decisions to do deeds, right? To be like, yeah, somebody might just become a crusader against us forever now. And that can be really bad.
Yeah, so here we're going to start getting into the legal arguments that BAM, Bricks and Minifigs, has. So the first of these arguments is going to be that this was an illegal consignment to begin with. Amon, wasn't Amon the name of the bad guy from the first Legend of Korra season?
Yeah, sure was.
That's a great name for this guy. Amon, a chief operating officer at BAM, stated that the consignment agreements were prohibited under the company's franchise guidelines and said the franchise would have been terminated anyway if corporate had been aware of the arrangement. However, this person showed that consignment agreements were permitted under certain circumstances. And we have this highlighted portion from the franchise agreement. We showed the franchise agreement earlier. Additionally, franchisees may also offer consignment services. Right there.
Just gonna pretend like they don't have that document and lie about it? That's kind of cool.
Oh, 1,000%. That's absolutely what they're doing. Their argument is, well, then the argument changes slightly. We're gonna go to the franchise agreement real quick because, again, I have it, which is fun. 1 second. There we go. And you're gonna see, this is the part that we were just talking about. Franchisee may also offer consignment services. Their argument is that consignment services had to be approved by the company. If you'll notice here, there's nothing that says the consignment services have to be approved by the company. If that's an oral agreement, tough shit. The contract, stands apart from any oral agreements and would rule. Unless there's like an email somewhere that says that we agree in writing, to supersede the contract. So, no, they're just straight up, incorrect, let's say. Let's say the CEO is not lying, but they appear to be wrong on the facts, Your Honor, is what I would say to that.
Yeah.
So not lying per se.
Right, because you wouldn't want to claim they were doing it intentionally. That would be silly.
Schneider also, so Ben Schneider, Reckless Ben, also incorporated a business named We Steal From Old People and used Bricks and Minifigs and associated branding, which he described as an attempt to provoke legal action and force the dispute into court. At one stage, Ben alleged that the store owner, Josh, offered to return the sets and Mansell issued a public apology. Mansell is, like the old guy and his son. Mansell reportedly declined because he believed an apology would weaken potential legal claims relating to liability. Yes, it would. Schneider later sent a deepfake apology video depicting a fabricated version of Mansell apologizing, allegedly testing whether the sets would be returned. According to Ben, the collection was then not returned. So Josh is a liar. Jesus Christ. Josh was the...
Damn.
Yeah. Throughout the dispute, Schneider also claimed the representatives connected the company to him to have him arrested and allegedly traveled to a property in Utah connected to his investigation. Those allegations I will now independently verify because I have the documents. Ben later filed a claim in small claims court against the parties connected to the dispute. According to Schneider, the defendants did not respond, resulting in a default judgment in his favor. So Ben helped this old guy and his son basically sue the store for to get his Lego collection back. And instead of responding to the lawsuit, the store just went bankrupt, went out of business, no longer exists, and he was unable to, collect on the default judgment. He has a judgment from a small claims court that says, give me my Legos back, or give me the value of my Legos. And the store just basically pieced out and said, good luck on collecting.
Yeah, we don't exist anymore. Good luck.
Yeah,
Damn.
Bricks and Minifigs denies any wrongdoing. In a statement published on its website just 3 days ago, the company says it does not condone, tolerate, or participate in the exploitation of anyone, especially older adults. The company also maintains that corporate representatives neither sign nor authorize a consignment agreement, which, again, they were not required to under the contract that we all just looked at, and asks fans to consider the human impact of the content they share. Please consider what you're doing to this old man. So
are they trying to claim that they just happened upon this $200,000 collection of Legos?
Yes.
And they're like, oh yeah, it got donated to us, I guess. Whoa.
Yes, that is their legal argument. It's called a Bonafide purchaser. And there's at least 3 different issues with that, which I'm happy to go through. So this is their statement. So, response to customer inquiries regarding Bricks and Minifigs Salem. Clarity and resolution of an isolated and former franchisee's private civil dispute. Fuck you. So, I don't want to read through all of this because I think it's garbage. But the executive summary is the public narrative surrounding Bricks and Minifigs claims that corporate leadership and our new Salem franchisees knowingly stole $100,000 to $200,000 Lego collection from an elderly collector and his family are not true. Based on everything I'm seeing, that's not accurate. This appears to be a lie. The actual origin of this dispute lies in an unauthorized local consignment agreement. Again, it did not have to be authorized. There was nothing that had to authorize this between an independent former franchisee of the Salem store and the Mansell family. When BAM Corporate repossessed the store due to the former owner's financial defaults and other breaches, aka saying, I'm going to leave in 6 months, which she says they were cool with, and we're going to bring a new franchisee in, BAM was unaware of any unauthorized and undisclosed consignment agreement and was not a party to such. In fact, the collection was not even located in the store based on our investigation. No credible evidence to the contrary has been found, including from Mr. Mansell. What if I told you that there was credible evidence to the contrary within this own executive summary, within this own statement by them? How would you feel?
Oh no.
So just going back to this, BAM was unaware of any unauthorized and undisclosed consignment agreement. Let's go back to the video real quick and see if it's absolutely true that they had no knowledge that there was anything like this. Let's go back to the
right,
video.
That guy was from corporate.
That guy was from corporate. And what is he told? What is he told?
That he has not been paid for.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
That's called estoppel, chat. Estoppel is a concept of the law where an individual takes upon a contract that was, or does a promise based off of their own admittance. Here we have an individual from corporate who is being told on video camera that there is a major consignment agreement. There's also some sort of document that's in front of him. I would imagine that document would be like inventory or something similar about this consignment agreement. So to me, this being caught on camera, and again, this video, this is 3 minutes into the video that came out a week before their public statement about this. So, unaware of any undisclosed consignment agreement, that's just not credible at all.
I think it's also good to point out really quick is like, in that sentence, right, she even says straight up, like, oh, we have a consignment agreement that blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't say, wait, you're supposed to not have consignment agreements, right? He acts like that's a totally normal thing for them to do.
Yep. Oh, actually, we have the perfect song now for this. 1 second. All right. In the very next paragraph, it says, however, we're hopeful the individuals involved in this private dispute can resolve such among themselves, which we support. Our goal is to ensure this grandfather and his family are not left out or penalized for a localized failure. After taking over the store, we discovered a small number of sets between $2,000 and $5,000 that could possibly be related to Mr. Mansell's collection based on the information we received. I thought that you just said over here that in fact the collection was not even located at the store based on our investigation. No credible evidence to the contrary has been found. The very next paragraph, you say that you possibly found multiple sets between $2,000 and $5,000 that are part of this collection. Their own statement is contradictory and a lie. Genuinely, Chad. In court, this is going to be called a statement. This is an admission against a party's interest. So this is, if you bring this to court and you say, you know, if they're alleging that they are unaware of this, that they didn't even have the documentation, you can say, well, your own statement says that you found collections that could possibly be related to it. It appears to be that you found it within the store. You're lying. Your honesty, the fact that you can say truthful things is fucked. And you know, an attorney would have reviewed this corporate statement before and went out. It boggles the mind that an attorney could not recognize this contradiction. It boggles the mind. We offered to return these items to the Mansell family. Why would you offer to return sets of Legos that are not theirs? If you didn't find them in the store, but you then happened to find multiple sets within $2,000 to $5,000 that you offered to return? Sclimbo, if someone, you know, found $30,000 worth of Legos, which are clearly not yours, would they return them to you anyway?
Oh, you know, like maybe, I don't know, maybe they were feeling generous, right? Maybe they were like, yeah, you know, they're just being nice. They're just being really nice.
We refuse to let a private legal battle obscure our core values. Moving forward, we're implementing more rigorous record keeping, inventory management, and more transparency. I am of the belief that their entire brand has been ruined by this. I would not trust them. I would not trust them with a single Lego brick. So let's move on to the legal documents really quick. And Sclimbo, how much longer can I hold you? Because I know you're a tired Slim.
Yeah, this is my 9th stream this week.
Yeah.
I was gonna get going right about now or so, but honestly, I'm kind of invested. So
all right, let's say another 15 to 20 minutes.
I can go a bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay. So this is this is what's happening right now by the BMF Salem 1 LLC, Crystal Law, Benjamin Gorman, suing BAM Franchising Inc. So this is, you know, the old franchisee owner suing BAM. Bricks and Minifigs. So they basically allege everything that we went over, and they basically said that in November 2024, BAM, without valid cause, abruptly terminated the franchisee, changed the locks to control the store and its inventory. The purported defaults BAM uses pre-tax for problems of BAM's own making had been cured or waived. BAM failed to transfer the store's bank account and property lease to the plaintiff. So basically, they stole all the business's money, stole all the inventory, and gave nothing that the franchisee owner should have had. BAM refused to compensate plaintiff for the confiscated assets, effectively stealing merchandise and equipment worth over $100,000. So basically, this old folk who's had his Legos stolen is saying, BAM, you stole these Legos. The old franchise owner is saying, BAM, you stole this Legos. We have video of you knowing about the consignment agreement, stealing these Legos. Something that we watched in that video earlier was her saying that they're trying a bunch of tactics in order to stay this case, and take it as long as possible, which they are. They are doing what's called moving to compel mediation and arbitration against her. So, and they have every right to do this because the franchise agreement basically says that when you sue us, you're not allowed to sue us in court. You have to go through non-binding mediation and then arbitration. Do you know what arbitration is, Sclimbo?
Is that, no, I've like heard the word before. I just thought that was like the argument part.
So arbitration is this corrupt, awful thing that corporations have invented over the last 70 years, and which is now preferred by the United States and state governments. Instead of going to court, you go to a private company, here AAA, which is the American Arbitration Association, and a retired judge or a lawyer will act as a judge for you. And instead of filing in open court, you file with this private company, and you have to pay all the costs of that. And arbitrations can cost you $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $80,000 a piece per party, which makes it immensely, which it's usually faster than court, but it's going to be immensely painful for a normal person who doesn't have that much money laying around. And also, arbitrators technically don't have to follow the law, so they're adjudicating your legal dispute, and they don't have to follow the law. There are orders that
what do they follow then?
Their heart.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they feel is the law. Like, genuinely, chat. Unless there's a provision in the termination letter, sorry, in the franchise agreement that says that the arbitrator has to follow the law, they don't have to follow the law when they're deciding your case. And also, you can't appeal it, usually. You can't appeal the arbitrator's decision. So you go to a private corporation to decide your legal dispute, where you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to do that, and then they don't have to follow the law. They just do it by vibe adjudication, yeah.
Okay, vibe adjudication.
Basically, everything you've ever signed has an arbitration agreement in it. For better or for worse, I would imagine that your SOX VTubing agency contract probably has an arbitration dispute in it, Sclimbo.
I'm not allowed to talk about that document.
I know.
Maybe, who knows?
Your Twitch partner agreement has an arbitration clause in it.
Yes, yeah.
Steam used to have an arbitration clause in it until a bunch of lawyers got a ton of Steam users together and sued Steam for price manipulation. And then Steam was like, we don't want to pay for thousands of individual arbitrations at $10,000 and $30,000 a pop. So we're getting rid of the arbitration clause. You can file in court now. You can have a class action. Fuck Steam, by the way, for that. So basically, this woman sued in court, and the document has a arbitration agreement, because this entire thing is coming out of her franchise agreement and her, her relationship with the community through that document. I see no reason why her action against them should not go to arbitration. It should. I hate arbitration. I fight arbitration clauses every day, because when you work for an employer, 85% of the time, they make you sign an arbitration agreement when you start working for them. And that's because arbitrations are private as well. You don't get to know how much someone won if they did an arbitration. There's no appeals, and arbitrations are decided by a judge or a retired judge rather than a jury. And juries usually are the ones giving, $500,000, $1 million, $3 million awards of damages to folks, not judges, because juries feel with their hearts. And judges are usually these like 80-year-old, I should not call them 80-year-old fucks because I see them every day. These older, let's say out of touch individuals who are like, I think one peppercorn will make this whole. You may have one peppercorn. So the first lawsuit, I don't think...
They still use tarring and feathering as a...
absolutely.
as a thing to do, yeah.
5 canings, sir. Is there a way to go to trial without arbitration if the contract is invalid? Yes, and I defend against arbitration agreements every day. That's literally 60% of my job, just opposing arbitration. I hate it. I'm successful maybe 30-40% of the time, and it's hard because arbitration agreements also stop class actions, and I'm a class action attorney. I try to represent thousands of class members, thousands of employees against a corporation because there's value in numbers. And
you're like the reason I get checks sometimes because they send me those in the mail and they're like class action and then, hey, you should do that. Fill those out. You get money.
The ones that I do, you don't have to fill out. You just get a check.
Oh, okay. Because I get them mailed to me and they're like, you're part of this. And then I get like $100. It's pretty cool. It's happened like 4 times.
Yeah. The average size of the checks I get for employees are $1,000, usually $1,000 to $1,200.
Damn.
The most I've ever gotten per employee was over $10,000 per employee. Imagine getting a $10,000 check in the mail, and you don't have to do anything.
I could live on that for a year.
Oh shit. Yeah. I got free Red Bull thanks to a class action. True. That was a really awful case. Basically, there was a company that was, I would say, tricking drivers to do what are called these lease to own, like semi trucks, like these big rigs, and they were then classifying them as independent contractors, and they would like take $800, $1,000 out of their paychecks every month as lease payments for the car that for the truck that they were driving, and they're like, if you work with us for like 3-4 years, you get to keep the truck. Well,
oh boy, okay.
Well, no one worked for them for more than like 12 months to 24 months. And if they actually started working there a long time, suddenly you're not getting jobs anymore, but you're still having to pay for the truck. Hi, Orla. So I got a very small class, under 100 people, a over $1 million class action settlement. That's something I'm like super proud of. Because I feel like that's like genuinely life-changing money for a lot of people. Just getting $10,000 in the mail. Yeah.
That would be life-changing money for me. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. And that's, trying to erase the bad karma of getting both Uber and Airbnb legalized one summer. There's a lot of bad karma.
There's good sides to that. Like, I mean, I don't know much about it, but like I know I've used those services, right? So I'm like, there's a use. Like, I don't know how inherently ontologically evil they are, but
So here is the lawsuit filed by Bricks and Minifigs franchising by Josh Johnson, who is the owner of this, or used to be this owner of this franchise before it was closed down. Because again, after they got the default judgment against it, they just closed shop so they couldn't get the goddamn money. And a bunch of people all suing Reckless Ben. Oh, and the family. They're also suing the family. Remember how they were talking about how they don't, in their statement, how they have family values and they want this old man to be okay and this is a private dispute? They're suing him. They're suing him.
They're suing him.
So, and they're suing him successfully, I might add. This has been a very successful lawsuit. So most of this sticks from the 3 hours of YouTube videos, which you are more than welcome to watch, chat. Basically, they're alleging that he went on a stalking raid, that they were coming to their locations, tricking their employees, stalking and harassing them, which I would call journalism. So they got a TRO. Oh, I'm not showing the right document right now. Let me switch my document real quick, chat. So this is the document. Yeah.
I don't know if this helps, but I don't know if this is a real thing or not, but I should probably try to say it. Any opinions I might have expressed on the stream don't represent Sock's agency. They represent me, the individual.
Well, I'll make sure Sclimbo can see the complaint right now. So, but again, this is BAM, Bricks and Minifigs, Josh Johnson suing this YouTuber and the family right there, Bryan Mansell. Like, after they gave that heartfelt, like, we wish him the best, they're suing him. And they got, on Friday, a successful restraining order against him. Or Thursday, rather. A restraining order against him. The judge found their allegations of stalking, loss of business, loss of goodwill, loss of existing and future relationships, alleging that these defendants engaged in a campaign of extortion, harassment, defamation, nuisance, interference, trespassing, stalking, and intimidation against plaintiff and their business and affiliates. The judge in this case in Utah is agreeing that Reckless Ben most likely has gone on a campaign of stalking against them with these YouTube videos. Ben was arrested earlier this month earlier back in March 10th, March 11th, for stalking, targeted residential picketing, for basically going after Josh Johnson. I spoke with the victim by phone. He reported that Ben Schneider was stalking his house. Victims that people were coming up to his windows and taking pictures, which scared his wife and his children. I believe he also used the word gun here. No, is that the next one? And then they did a follow-up one as well. Oh, I thought the word gun came up at some point. I think he said, you don't know what's going to happen. So basically, they arrested Ben for his, what I would call investigation journalism back in March. And then, while Ben was arrested, he had his friends, continue watching this family, trying to, get him to do the right thing. Officers of American Fork arrived on scene and found a group of individuals working for Ben had hung up a sign on neighbor's fence. On the sign it stated, "I stole a dying man's life savings," and had what appeared to be an AI-generated picture of the victim with money in the victim's hands and an older person laying in a hospital bed. The victim here being Josh Johnson.
Right.
So, based off this alleged stalking, based off the fact that some of these YouTubers who were with Ben had phones on them, they got search warrants to steal their phones from them, to steal Ben's phone as well. So the police have been completely complicit with Josh Johnson, with the Bricks and Minifigs, basically stopping what I, again, would call investigative journalism and what they're calling stalking and harassment. Which led to the court issuing a TRO, finding that plaintiff's threatened injury and damages outweigh any injury or damages to Ben and the old man, who just, have to stay away from all of them now, who have to stop talking about all this. Plaintiffs, again, Bricks and Minifigs, will likely prevail on the merits of their claim. For RICO violations, they're charging them RICO violations because they're, trying to stalk them across state lines. Defamation, civil stalking, trespass, civil conspiracy. So they've been...
They can call RICO on individuals who are... I thought RICO was like a business racketeering thing.
It is a business racketeering thing, and they're going between Oregon, where the Bricks and Minifigs location was, and Utah, where Josh Johnson lives. So they're saying that because this involves interstate commerce, they're going and doing the stalking between states, that they're like a professional criminal organization stalking and harassing and extorting them between states. They're basically saying that Ben is a criminal.
Wow. The only reason they're, just to understand this, the reason they're able to pull this off / get the police to do this is because they haven't been proven wrong in court yet, right? So
it's because they're Mormons.
Legally speaking. Wait, what?
Oh yeah. Again, you saw how the CEO went to BYU. They're Mormons. Oregon.
BYU, what's that?
Brigham Young University. It's like the Mormon university.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that.
So Oregon and Utah are huge Mormon, places. So their CEO of this corporation is really big in the Mormon scene of things. All the cops are Mormons. So the cops are defending this Mormon business. Everyone, Books of Mormon in chat right now. Books of Mormons in chat.
Because what I thought was happening was this was one of those awkward things where it was like, oh, well, the police had to follow the letter of the law. And since these guys weren't successful proving that they own the $200,000 thing, all of this is stalking.
Again, they have they have a default judgment against the franchise that went bankrupt saying that they own it. No, the cops don't care. The cops are all Mormons. They're all, I'm not going to say the cops are in on it, but the cops are defending one of their own. So here's, and this is going to be the last thing for stream because Sclimbo has to go, and we're basically about to go into an ad break. BAM acquired the store's assets as a bona fide purchaser for value, without actual or constructive notice of any third-party right, claim, or lien. This is their legal argument. They're saying a bona fide purchaser is someone who unknowingly comes into possession of stolen items. Okay? So, but here's the thing. They didn't purchase these items. They repossessed them. So they're not really a bona fide purchaser. And number two, we have the security camera footage. Where they were told, their corporate representative was told that these items are on consignment. So they had actual and constructive knowledge of this based off of the security camera footage. Their whole argument is we're a bona fide purchaser. We had no knowledge that these items were on consignment, and even if we had knowledge, we can't find them. They don't exist. So you need to sue the franchise owner who you had the contract with, not us. We're the wrong person to sue because as a bona fide purchaser, we had no knowledge of this. If you need your money back, sue her. That's their whole argument. And it fails because of the security camera footage, because of the Facebook post saying advertising from their own franchisee that we have like this Star Wars collection on consignment. They should have at least constructive knowledge based off the Facebook post, actual fucking knowledge from the security camera footage. Their whole argument fails. What we were looking at earlier, their own statement says that they found the items when they offered them back to this individual. So, and here's the crazy thing. The cops don't care. The judge doesn't care either. Because this is a corporation and we want to defend our big corporate overlords. So luckily, you know, they're getting their money back in the GoFundMe at least. That's great. But again, they're going to have tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially of legal suits because now, you know, BAM, who wished them the best, is now suing them. Because again, in their corporate statement, we're like, we wish this old guy the best. That's why we're suing them.